as a DC fan, I can finally say this is the biggest W we've had in such a long time. The last time, as a DC fan, as a lifelong DC fan, I felt this way was when DC Fandom 2020 came out, and there was, they talked about the Suicide Squad, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Batman, everything, and boy, oh boy, Henry Cavill Superman. You guys know I love Superman. I literally just put out a rant video complaining about how Warner Bros. Has mismanaged Superman, and now Man of Steel 2 is confirmed. Now, this isn't a confirmation based on if Zack Snyder's coming, because there's no Zack Snyder talk in this article. But Hollywood Reporter confirmed many things. One of them is James Gunn has a secret project that they're going to work on after Peacemaker Season 2 is done. And of course, Man of Steel 2 is happening. And The Flash has a sequel upcoming, or, well, not upcoming, but they have a script ready. And I'm assuming Ezra Miller's done, but let's actually read this. DC at a turning point. James Gunn pitches secret movie. Dwayne Johnson flexes a Superman power exclusive. And by the way, Dwayne Johnson may have saved DC, because this article confirms, like I said in my last video, that Walter Hamada and the old regime of Warner Brothers, they were the ones against having Superman and Black Adam and even continuing Henry Cavill Superman. But Dwayne Johnson was like, nah, let me handle it. And they were able to get Superman at least for a post-credit. And now it seems like we're going to get a sequel with Henry Cavill Superman. Of course, I don't know whether it's going to be directed by Zack Snyder, but regardless, I just wanted Henry Cavill Superman. That's all I freaking wanted. Of course, I'd like Ben Affleck's Batman to come back, but out of all of it, I thought Henry Cavill just had to come back as the Man of Steel, the last son of Krypton. Let's read this article. With the release of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam this Friday, and by the way, I'm gonna watch it on Thursday, so y'all be on the lookout for my review on that. And DC Films head Walter Hamada quietly ending his tenure in the coming days. And by the way, I'm celebrating. I was on board on the Hamada train. I was supporting him till the very end, and even for months, I would say, hey, you know what? I want to give Hamada some time. Let's see how it goes. But you know what? The fact that he just decided, oh, you know what, let's not have a Superman DC universe. Oh, this is the fact that you, as the leader of DC, made the decision to not have Superman in your movies, except for like that race swap Superman that they're thinking. I don't even know if that's happening. Besides that, nothing on Superman. Nothing on Superman. It's so bullshit that the last time we saw Superman in the big screen was in 2017. That is an utter disgrace. He is the icon. He is the face of the superhero genre. When you ask the general audience who Superman is, or who the iconic superhero is, not just Superman, they think of Superman. Everyone knows that red cape. Everyone knows the blue suit, red cape. Everyone knows the story of Clark Kent, Kal-El, whatever you want to call him. Everyone knows the story of Superman. So why aren't you exploiting that? Use that. At the end of the day, it's a win-win. You get money, and people get a Superman. Even Superman movies aren't good. They make pretty good money. Everyone's very aware of who Superman is. But anyways, in fact, without a permanent leader to guide the stable of some of the biggest and best known pop culture characters in the world, DC is seeing a secret but dramatic land grab amongst some of the biggest players in Hollywood. Johnson is publicly touting his vision for a future Black Adam vs. Superman movie, with his words stoking fan desires to see Henry Cavill return as a red-caped hero. Matt Reeves is plotting an expansion of his Batman universe, while J.J. Abrams remains in the mix, as well as his own plans. By the way, there was so much information that came out I did not expect this much to come out. And the Hollywood Reporter can exclusively report that James Gunn, the filmmaker behind Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy movies, as well as Warner's DC-based The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, is angling for his own new DC project or two. Sources told the Hollywood Reporter that Gunn and producer Peter Safran are in talks with Warner's for a mystery movie, possibly more, that Gunn would tackle. Safran, oh my bad, I said Safar earlier. Safran is already in DC business, being producer on Shazam and its upcoming sequel, as well as Aquaman and the movie sequel. Warner's had no comment, but one insider observes a carving of the comics company's intellectual assets is happening. DC's definitely in play, says the person. How much play may depend on your perspective from inside or outside the studio. While it isn't clear what hero or teams Gunn is targeting, and the writer-director would focus on a second season of Peacemaker first, the studio's eyes are very much on Superman. Finally, For the love of God, this is something I've been waiting for so long. How do you have a DC universe, but you're greenlighting crappy things like Wonder Twins? You're greenlighting freaking a Batgirl movie, a Blue Beetle movie, and by the way, I'm excited for Blue Beetle, by the way, and I would love to have seen Batgirl, but you have nothing for Superman. It is the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen from any big major studio. Imagine if Kevin Feige did that with Spider-Man. Imagine if he had, let's say he had the rights to Spider-Man and he was like, you know what, no thanks, we'll just wait to use Spider-Man some other time. Nah, people would get mad, rightfully so. And not only that, but Superman, again, he's the face of the superhero genre. Not just the face of DC, but the face of all superheroes. So much so to where even Marvel referenced Superman in the Eternals. But anyways, under Warner Bros. Discovery, CEO David Zaslav and Warner Bros. Picture heads Michael De Luca and Pam Abdi, Warner's has an intense desire to reprise the Cavill iteration of the hero. Yes, the project that will essentially be Man of Steel 2 is being produced by Charles Roven and is currently in search for writers. I volunteer as tribute. There is a wish list, of course, and Christopher McQuarrie, the hand that guides the Mission Impossible movies, was on it. McQuarrie worked with Cavill on the 2018 installment Fallout, but sources say no official outreach has been made, nor may it be feasible, as the director's working on next back-to-back Impossible installments. By the way, this is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. They're the most reliable source in the business. This isn't your bullshit articles like Geekosity or Casey Walsh, the irrelevant people, the people no one cares about. This is the real Hollywood industry. The Hollywood Reporter, the main to-go-to people. But anyways, Johnson, however, has Superman plans of his own and has been very vocal about his desire to make a Black Adam vs. Superman movie, a desire he has only reiterated more frequently in the lead-up to Adam. This comes as he talks up his surprise cameo at the end of Adam with the actor by the way, it's a spoiler for Black Adam, but I've not even seen the scene. I don't know how the scene plays out. All we know is Henry Cavill Superman is in the post-credit. But starting that Cavill will appear, insiders are wondering if those calls are intended to goose the movie's opening weekend box office numbers or to maneuver Superman onto his own chess square, or perhaps both. I think, it's obviously both, because Superman's going to make you money. I mean, already, the most talked about thing about the movie is Superman's cameo. But anyways, whatever the case, Johnson is definitely at the center of Cavill's return to DC, which was not without some drama of its own. Johnson's manager is Danny Garcia, his former wife, who is also producing partner at Seven Buck Theater. Garcia also happens to represent Cavill. That's interesting. That must be weird to have your ex-wife be your manager. I don't know. But anyways, Superman as well as Cavill were not in the initial plans for Black Adam. The idea was hatched during a round of reshoots for the movie earlier this year, but the cameo was nixed by Hamada. The executive for the last 4 years had tried hard to move DC beyond the era where one filmmaker, in this case Zack Snyder, had an inordinate amount of influence and could command an entire slate for years. Hamada had his own Superman plans, one of them involving introducing a black Superman with a multi-decade spanning story by writer Ta-Nehisi Coates. After Amada said no, Johnson went around the executive, turning to De Luca and Abdi, who gave it the thumbs up. A furious round of negotiating occurred before Labor Day, a deadline insisted by Warner's with the scene shot in mid-September, and boom, there's the money piece. Why, Hamada? Why? Why do you not focus on fucking Superman? This is the most disgraceful thing. And by the way, this also proves Matt Jarbo was wrong. Matt Jarbo was being a little I love Jarbo, but one problem is he has such a big ego that won't accept him to take a freaking L. But no, I'm just kidding. I mean, I love Jarbo, but he was yelling at RJ, he was yelling at Max on stream. He was saying, no, Hamada did greenlight this. It's like, no, looking at the track record, Hamada clearly wasn't really in favor of bringing back Cavill as Superman. So why would he do this? But Dwayne Johnson, by the way, Dwayne Johnson's our hero. I don't care how bad Black Adam is. The fact that you were able to bring back Henry Cavill Superman is amazing. And not only that, but this is confirmed by Dwayne Johnson himself. In the premiere for Black Adam, he kept talking about how the old regime wouldn't allow him to do this. And it took a while, but eventually they were able to get Superman as a post-credit scene. And, of course, to set up a future Superman versus Black Adam thing. But anyways. Let's see. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, Reeves is quietly making... And by the way, now we're talking about the Batman. I know this video is titled Man of Steel 2 Confirmed, but I'm talking about the entire thing, so bear with me. is quietly making his own expansion plans. Reeves is developing a sequel to his Batman. Yes, I love the Batman. I have a poster over there, which I don't think is in frame, but is quietly making his own expansion plans. Reeves is also developing. Oh yeah, I already read that, which grows to respectable 770.8 million worldwide. When it really, by the way, I would like a more condensed version of the article. Anyways, because I don't like reading all of this. Um, Already a series spin-off focusing on Colin Farrell's Penguin is on the way, filming next year, but Reeves is plotting more. Ooh. The filmmaker is meeting with writers and directors to build out movies. Yes, movies, not just series. Focus on Batman's rogues gallery, both established and more obscure, with characters ranging from the Scarecrow to Clayface to Professor Pig. All those projects are very... Oh, a Scarecrow solo movie or show. Amazing. Wonder how they're going to do Clayface, because this is a very realistic version of the Batman. Um, that's interesting. That's interesting that we're getting a lot more. To me, the Batman is coming out to feel like the Arkham, because even the Dark Knight, the Keane movies, the Kilmer movies, I feel like they never really went too much into the Batman lore with the Rogues Gallery and all that. Usually always felt limited to the certain villains they had. I know the Dark Knight trilogy had a lot. Of course, you had Joker, Bane, Ra's al Ghul, Falcone, Maroni, and who else? Harvey Dent, of course. But I feel like going more and I think that's already something you've seen in the Batman. Of course, you had Penguin and Riddler both in the first movie. Then you introduce a Joker. Now we're getting, of course, a Scarecrow, Clayface, Professor Pig. That's a lot. That's perfect. Ben Affleck's Batman didn't even get to fight his own villain, at least in the movie. Although he did get that cool interaction with Deathstroke and Joker in the Snyder Cut, but yeah, it is unclear where Superman moves. Leave. Wait, hold up. Sorry, it is unclear whether Superman moves leave Abrams, who is. Oh, okay. It is unclear where the Superman moves leaves Abrams, who is still on track to produce Quad's movie centered on the last son of Krypton. That feature would exist outside any larger DC movie continuity, much like Todd Phillips' Joker movie. The mega producer had a few setbacks when some of his DC shows based on the supernatural corners of DC, featuring characters as Constantine and Zatanna, were scrapped at Warner Bros. Discovery's HBO Max streaming service. They are now being shopped to other streamers, but he is not out of the game and is yet another Hollywood power in the mix vying for a piece of the DC pie. All of this takes place as Hamada, who did not attend the Atom premiere in New York, October 12th, packs away. Bye-bye, Hamada. You won't be missed, and I hope the door hits you on the way out, but I'm just kidding. The final personal effects from the Burbank studio law office ahead of his last day sometime this week. The executive is not even taking a producing deal with the studio, a move that is traditional amongst executives who are being let go, but given a soft landing and courteous thank you for your service. Too many that action speaks volumes about how rough the transition from the AT&T era to Discovery under Zaslav has been, including the controversial cancellation of the Batgirl. Is there more? This is just going into the Dan Lin stuff and all that, but dude, let's go back to the main article. I don't know. David Zaslav. Look, I gave David Zaslav praise when the Batgirl movie was canceled. Don't get me wrong. Initially, I was a little iffy. But now we got a Joker 2, of course, that's happening. A Constantine movie, although I'm not a big fan of the first Constantine. But Man of Steel 2. Of course, James Gunn, which this is the smartest part. Giving James Gunn another project. You gotta have James Gunn on board. And the DC Universe right now, this is the best news as a DC fan. Look, don't get me wrong. I love Marvel. I have a soft spot for Marvel. I love Marvel. But I just prefer DC. My entire life, I've always been a bigger DC fan. Even during the time in 2018, 2019, when Marvel was dominating the conversation. Back then, it was hard being a DC fan. Now, it still kind of is. And it's nice to just get a win. It's nice to get a win. But anyways, I'm excited. It's just too much that... I got to do a live stream about this. I'm just way too excited. Henry, I remember I was at work and I'm looking at my Twitter notification and I see someone saying Man of Steel 2 confirmed. And I was genuinely shocked. Like it's the best piece of news I've heard. in a while. This is actually, to me, the only thing that would one up this is a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 or Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2 and 3. That would be the only things. Not even Hugh Jackman's Wolverine coming back in Deadpool 3 excites me that much, because I just love Superman that much, and I love Henry Cavill's iteration of the character. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next time. And make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment sections down below.